Hello everyone, it's your favorite realtor Sam Heine here. It's a brand new year, there's a lot of crazy things going on out there in the world right now, but when it comes to keeping you updated on all things real estate, I've got you covered. Folks, this is your 2025 Louisville real estate market update. Let's start with some juicy headlines, shall we? And which better to start with than a topic that's been on everyone's minds for the last few years, interest rates. Now, I won't harp on this too long, but it isn't being forecasted that interest rates are going to drop this year. They're projected to fluctuate from 6.3% to 7% in 2025 and 2026, actually, which generally speaking has been right where they've been for the last 12 months. So I wouldn't really expect those rates to drop too much over the next couple of years, especially with the US coming off those hot inflation reports. If they dropped rates too much all at once, we'd just see a home buying frenzy like we saw between 2020 and 2022, which just isn't sustainable long term. So in my opinion, I think that the 6s and low 7s are the new norm for interest rates, at least in the short term. And when they do start dropping more, I have a feeling it won't be a hard drop, probably just down into the 5s or so. Just my 2 cents. Now here's a fun one. Zillow came out with a list of their top 50 hottest real estate markets of 2025 a couple of weeks ago. And they formulate that list based off measurements of the most competitive housing markets for buyers in the country. So cities at the top of this list tend to not have as much inventory to go around, meaning that it's a more heavy seller's market. So Louisville came in at number 26 on the list, which is just ahead of Phoenix, Arizona, Washington, D.C., Tampa, Florida, Nashville, Tennessee, and Dallas, Texas. So not too bad here. Being more middle of the pack on this list is really more of a good thing in my mind. It signals a more healthy and neutral market where buyers and sellers can both win, whereas the cities at the top of this list, it's primarily just the sellers winning with the buyers doing everything they can to just get a house. Another interesting tidbit that came out recently is that the Humana building has been listed for sale in downtown Louisville. So downtown Louisville's getting kind of interesting, folks. With Fifth Third Bank moving its operations out of downtown Louisville last year, there's a big question looming over the city with what's going on with downtown Louisville. 2 giant players are moving out of that area. What's going to happen to those giant buildings down there? Outside of the KFC Yum Center, Whiskey Row, and the medical campuses down there, downtown Louisville's been a little bit of a ghost town recently. Now, I don't know exactly what the answer is to fix that, but it seems like we need some sort of an incentive to bring more companies and developers to the Louisville area. That'll be a really interesting story to watch over the next 5 to 10 years as the city gets that sorted out. Now for the meat and potatoes, everybody. Our sale price is still going up. And the median sale price across the Louisville market grew in 2024 from $256,000 to $270,000. That's 5.5% year over year, and that's really solid. It sounds less impressive compared to those 10 to 15% growth numbers we saw a few years ago, but those also weren't sustainable long term. 5.5% is actually more in line with the historic appreciation average and signals a more healthy market. So once again, home prices rose year over year, which is great news for all my property owners out there. But with that being said, there's also an interesting dynamic that we're seeing in the market right now. Because despite home prices going up overall, home buyers haven't had as much negotiation power as they have right now in years. Here are 2 big wins that I was able to secure for my buyers over the last 12 months to show you exactly what I mean. The first was with a couple of buyers that I was helping move to Louisville from out of state, and not only were they able to negotiate $25,000 off the sale price, but the appraisal actually came in $10,000 higher than that agreed upon sale price, meaning my buyers had some instant equity right away. And that's really not something we saw at all from 2020 to 2022. And the second win was with a buyer that I helped secure an awesome house for out in the Middletown area. We beat out multiple offers, and the house still ended up appraising for $15,000 higher than our agreed upon sale price, more instant equity. So it's kind of interesting, right? We're still seeing some multiple offer situations. We're still seeing sale prices go up across the market, but buyers aren't having to sell their souls as much to get inside of a house, which is much improved from the brutal seller's market that we saw a few years ago. There's definitely opportunities on both sides of the fence, which is the way it ought to be. Now, as a cherry on top, let's dig into an overview of Louisville's sale price growth broken out into different neighborhoods. A handful of zip codes that saw above average growth over that 5.5% city average was the 40222 zip code, coming in at 7.3% year over year. The 40025 zip code at a whopping 16.1% year over year. That is crazy. The 40214 zip code grew 8.9% year over year, and then the 40215 just next door to 40214 came in at 12.6% year over year. 40218 zip code grew 10.1%, 40210 at 16.3%, whoa, and 40219 at 8.1%. Some really strong numbers there, and most areas outside of that either held steady on pricing or grew. So Louisville's still very much looking solid in terms of neighborhood demand, and it seems to be pretty even spread from area to area. So big picture, if you're thinking about buying or selling this year, there's opportunity out there to be successful with both. And if you have any questions at all, I would love to be a resource to you. I would obviously love to be your realtor, and I would love to help you map that out in a successful and fun way. So reach out anytime. Look forward to hearing from you.